I think for people who have experienced a real wound, or maybe like just 5 or 10 years of being in an unhealthy, even toxic religious environment, that's kind of maybe led to this time in their life in which they're deconstructing. Number one, I would apologize and just, man, I'm sorry. That's not the way of Jesus. It's unfortunate that you've experienced an unhealthy form of leadership and an abuse of power, maybe applying or forcing a kind of cultural expression of Christianity over you that isn't necessarily inherently true to the teachings of the New Testament, right? The way of Jesus. And so I would first just lament and say, man, that God laments with you, and God can sit with you in that frustration. And then to consider it as an invitation into rediscovering it, right? So like Henry Nouwen famously said, the church can be in the way of God, but it will never stop being the way to God. And so I do believe, even as a pastor, that I think the way to experience healing for those who have been hurt even by the church is to return to a healthy church environment. So no doubt there is a time to be away, there is a time to kind of seek the help that's needed. But at some point, I think a beautiful expression of that healing will be when you return home, when you go back home and you find a genuine expression of Christianity, of the love of Jesus expressed through his people, the church, pastors, church members, right? I think there is, because here's the thing, for every 10 people who are online saying like, man, I'm so done, there's about 50 faithful people you'll never hear about, right? And so there is a temptation to think what I see on the screen on my phone is the fullest representation of everything. That's not always true, right? There's so much of what God is doing behind the scenes. And so I would say, man, what you're seeing online, what you've even experienced in your own life, isn't the full representation of what is out there when it comes to churches, And so it's very possible for you to experience healing as you re-enter a healthy church where people are remaining honest and true to the teachings of Jesus, the historic Christian faith, and doing so in a way that leads to love and an openness of community so that anyone can come and join and follow Jesus in a real way and remain true to what Scripture is saying, And I think that's so possible, especially for people who are hurt. It takes time, it takes time. However, I would say that I think the deepest healing happens still in the church community. I think it's there, And that's what I would hope for anyone who's sharing their feelings online. Because here's the thing, as people come out with their testimonies, and some of them are powerful, some of them are needed, some of them are somewhat silly and funny because, you just kind of poke fun at the weird kind of cultural expressions of Christianity. Because if there's anything we're good at doing as Christians is like making things kind of weird and awkward at times. And so some of their testimonials are lighthearted, right? And you kind of just like, oh my gosh, yeah, my church would say that too, or we did that too. But at the same time, the very fact that you're giving a testimonial is a sign that you need people to hear you and see you in your deconstruction. We're just designed for that, And I think because of that being true, you can find a healthy church community.